All right, the live stream is on. So I'll go ahead and I'll share this, this. Okay. So, welcome to the April regular board meeting. First, Mr. President, if you want to go ahead and call the meeting to order.
Welcome, everybody. Calling the meeting to order. Are we going to do the pledge or dispense with that?
I think we'll dispense with that.
Okay, roll call.
So, and what it says on the screen here is that board members participating in the meeting should abstain from other forms of communication with other members of the board or the general public during the course of this meeting. So, you know, I mean, unless that communication is in the meeting, so it's something that everybody and the public can hear while we're meeting as a board. There shouldn't be any outside.
I won't be texting JJ or anybody.
Correct. So we'll take a roll call, and by responding here, members agree to adhere to the participation guidelines. So we'll start with President Tigerson.
Yes, here.
Member Alder.
Here.
Member Batty.
Here.
Member Colvin.
Yep.
And Member Wright.
Here.
All right. So moving on to the adoption of the agenda, it is recommended that the agenda be adopted. A motion and a second is needed. Prior to approval of the motion, it's recommended the agenda be amended, and we'll get to that right after if we have a motion.
So move.
All right. So the motion was made by, sorry. Because I know Jenny's watching the video and collecting the minutes, but when you know who made the motion?
Clint did.
Okay. The second was Melissa?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So prior to approval of the motion, it's recommended the agenda be amended to remove action items 8 through 10. These items were approved at the March meeting. It is also recommended the agenda be amended by removing policy items 1.4 and 3.1. These items were rescinded by ASBAIT Policy Services. So, Clint, are you okay with amending your motion?
Sure.
Okay. Melissa's okay with amending your second?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. President, it's yours.
Troy's supposed to say all in favor.
What am I supposed to do?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. We will have no call to the public, right?
We have no written request to address the board, so nothing's been received. As far as recognition goes, I'd just like to take a moment to recognize the tremendous effort that's been put forth by our staff to implement the general education program. This has been an extraordinary feat. It's taken a lot of time and a lot of energy from a lot of people, and it really demonstrates the commitment that our teachers and our support staff have to meet the needs of our students. So thank you to everyone.
I agree wholeheartedly. It's a lot of time and effort and a lot of trial and error, and appreciate it.
So as far as reports go, because of the complexities of all this, we're going to go ahead and dispense with the principal reports. You have the written reports in the board in your packet. As far as one thing I'd like to add to my report, I had a chance to visit with the staff at the school facilities board today, and they are working to get us the additional funding that we need for the extra conditions with the soil excavations to remove the expansive soils, the storm drain removal or rerouting. that's needed for the new construction, as well as the for the demolition of the old elementary school. So we're hopeful. I'm hopeful that I'll hear tomorrow that the funding budget, and we'll be able to go ahead and get things going. So,
Thanks for following up with that, Sean.
all right. So you have the consent agenda, and it is recommended that a motion be made to approve the consent agenda. The items placed thereon are submitted after the administration has undergone the appropriate processes to meet the needs of the district. For example, advertising, interviewing, hiring for positions, gathering quotes for requisition, et cetera, for procurement. If a board member would like to remove an item from the agenda for separate consideration, they should identify that motion or identify the item after the motion and second is made, but prior to the vote. We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Have a second?
We're gonna talk about that.
You have a second?
I have a motion and a second. Does anybody want to remove anything?
I would like to make a motion to move 5.3.3.1 until we can discuss that a little more.
What?
Sean, which
What's
one
been
was
moved
that?
to-
Would you repeat
to,
that, please?
What was that?
Can you repeat that motion?
Can you
Or
repeat
that,
what number?
You repeat the number. Oh, 5.3.3.1.
All right. So we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item 5.3.3.1.
Okay, so we just called for a vote now?
Yep.
Okay, all in favor of the consent agenda with the 5.3.3.1 moved to the side? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes.
All right. So let's take up 5.3.3.1. The recommendation is to move Mr. Carlton, who's the principal at Pima Elementary School, to Pima Junior High. Mr. Carlton has been the principal at the elementary school for the last 5 years. He has demonstrated tremendous skills in supporting staff and in making a difference for lots of kids in lots of different ways. It's my belief that he will make an excellent junior high principal because the skills that he has demonstrated are exactly what we need at the junior high. I believe that given the steps that we've taken to put a dean of students in place at the elementary school, as well as providing additional supports through special education staff, et cetera, at the elementary school, make that a position that we will be able to fill with a candidate from those that are applying and going to apply here over the next week and a half. We've already had the principal position open for a week. So I believe that Mr. Carlton will best serve the district in the capacity of a junior high principal. And based on that, my recommendation is to reassign him to that position.
So, Sean Wright, what are you wanting? Are you wanting more of a discussion with all of us together, or what? or an executive session or sometime,
Well,
or what?
I don't know. He's doing good at the elementary, and just, is that our best move for the elementary at this time, since we've still got, things are going good, you know, and is it going to rock the boat?
Yeah, we're gonna be rocking.
Or would
two
we be
schools.
able to just find a, and this is just, I'm just for my information, I'm not saying yay or nay or anything like that. Are we better off to try to bring in somebody for the junior high and start them at the junior high and keep building upon what's been built at the elementary? Or do we move Mr. Carlton to the junior? That's my thought. Open for discussion.
I agree with Mr. Rickert. I think Carlton would serve the junior high very well. I think that'll be a better fit for Mr. Carlton as well.
Is that Melissa?
Yes.
Yes.
Clint or JJ, do you have any comments?
I feel like I don't want to disrupt the elementary. I mean, we worked really hard over the last couple of years, and Mr. Carlton knows the program over there, and now we're going to be disrupting two different, as far as I'm concerned, two different entities on the deal.
Right.
That's just my 2 cents. So,
Having said what I said, if Mr. Rickert feels that that's the best move for the district, then I'll support it.
Okay. JJ?
So my worry, I kind of agreeing with what Clint said. We are, our junior high, I feel our junior high is doing amazing right now. And I really appreciate what's been going on there. And that my sentiments were exactly what Clint said. If we move that, well, are we going to have to worry about both of them now? You know, with a new principal in both, and maybe all three for future. And that is my worry. And I don't know the perfect solution, but that is my worry.
I understand the concerns, and these are all, all things that I think have been taken into consideration. My goal is to make sure we have the right people in the right seats on the bus. I think working with Mr. Carlton for the last 5 years, I've developed a strong sense for what his strengths are. Also the areas where he's looking to grow professionally. And so I think that making this change, well, yes, there will be some disruption at the elementary school. I think that from that disruption we'll come out stronger at both the elementary school and the junior high. And I think that it best serves the needs of our students and our staff long term, making this change.
Yeah, this is Troy. I have concerns too, but and I think everybody pretty much expressed them. I don't need to repeat them, but at this time I feel that Mr. Rickert's made a recommendation, and I'd like to support that myself. But I'm willing to, that's why we're a board, so we each have an opportunity to vote. So.
Will Mr. Carlton wear his green tights at the junior high?
He'll wear his ASU stuff.
So I guess we come to a vote. You've answered my concerns and if Mr. Rickert feels that it's a good move, then he knows more about it than we do, so I'll support him.
Do we need to bring this to a vote right now, Sean, or what do we do?
Yes. Like I said, I would recommend a motion to approve Mr. Carlton as the principal at the junior high for now.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Nay.
So there's 2 nays and 2 ayes. Who else needs to vote?
Okay. I'll go ahead and call the roll, and then when I say your name, just indicate your vote, please. President Thigerson?
Okay.
President Thigerson?
Aye. Aye.
Okay. Member Alder?
Nay.
Member Batty?
Aye.
Member Colvin?
Nay.
Member Wright?
Nay.
All right, so by a vote of 3-2, the motion fails to carry. Okay, moving on to policy items. Board policy is changed as a result of recommendations crafted by ASBA. Policy recommendations have been made. Policies are changed after being read twice. The items on the agenda are for preliminary review. We removed the one item that was an emergency change. Items that are exhibits that end in an E are for board information but don't require approval. Regulations are items that end in an all, are for board review but again do not require approval. So it's recommended that all policy items be identified as reviewed, and then at the next meeting, the policies that are being changed will be submitted for a second read and approval. Okay.
No action.
No actions needed.
Yep.
All right. We have 7 action items. Action item number 1 is the work from home agreement. Each employee currently is working from home or has been given the opportunity to work from home. They're at work from home agreement attesting their willingness to be available for duties as assigned by their supervisor. This is part of the provisions that were required by the statute allowing schools to continue to pay employees, but the employees have to be willing to work and available. So a motion to ratify the work from home agreement is recommended.
So moved.
Do we have a motion?
So,
Do we have a second?
Second.
me.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Signify.
Aye.
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 Okay. Motion passes.
Okay, action item number 2 involves teacher raises. After consulting with the administrative team and meeting and conferring with the teachers, it's been determined that a flat increase for all staff is appropriate this year. For the last 2 years, we've done percentage increases. The amount of the increase is based on a rough average of what a 5% increase would look like. So a motion is recommended to approve a $2,000 increase to the salary of each returning teacher and a $500 increase to the base salary given to new teachers.
So moved.
So
Do we have a motion and a second, right?
Motion by Melissa.
Yep.
Any further discussion?
All right.
Any further discussion? Nope. Okay.
Nope.
All in favor? Signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Yay.
Aye. Motion passes.
All right, action item number 3 is an hourly wage increase. Following the pattern established over the last 3 years since the passage of Proposition 206, hourly wages have been given effective January 1st. So since hourly employees received a $1 raise effective last January 1st. We'll put this next raise in effect January 1st of 2021. So basically to keep pace with the increase in minimum wage and to try to continue to be able to attract employees, we recommend a motion to approve a 25-cent raise effective January 1st for all hourly employees.
Do we have a motion?
Motion.
So
Do we
moved.
have a second?
Second.
It's been motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All right, action item number 4 is an administrator raise. It's a motion to approve a 4% increase for all administrators, that's principals, business manager, special education director, and dean of students, is recommended. This is a percentage increase than what we did for the teachers, but administrators get paid at a higher rate than teachers do. This will enable us to continue to be competitive with other districts in the region when it comes to administrator salaries.
So moved.
Second.
Do we have a second? Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
So you
All in favor?
One sec.
Okay, that's fine.
You mentioned, so this is the principals. Can you read that list again?
Sure. So principals, business manager, special education director, and dean of students that are returning receive a 4% increase over their current year salary.
And he put, those were in the packet.
Correct. In the packet was the schedule.
And it showed the salaries and it showed the increase.
Yes. I just was wondering, I didn't hear the superintendent in that list, so I was wondering about that.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a future meeting.
Correct. And the superintendent is based on the contract.
Next one.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
That's all right.
No, that's fine. It's okay to ask questions. So, any other questions? So we've had a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes.
All right. Action item number 5 is one of those formalities. The school facilities board requires that we can show minutes where the board approved an affidavit for new school construction. So a motion to approve the affidavit
Come on in.
as required by the SFB is recommended.
So moved.
I have a motion.
Yep.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Calder.
Second. Any further discussion? Well, this is something that's pretty much required, so all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, action item number 6. We received our rate renewal information from our current provider. They were going to increase our premiums by 10%. So we did some shopping around and determined that ASBAIT would provide the district with a no increase rate renewal. So basically, premiums would stay the same from this year to next year with a very limited change in coverage. I met with the teachers and we discussed the pros and cons of making this change. And it was agreed that enabling the district to retain 10% of what we spend on employee health insurance and enabling employees to purchase coverage for their families, retain income, was a good reason to make the switch. So a motion to approve ASBAIT as the provider for employee health insurance is recommended.
So moved.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion about the insurance for the school, health insurance. I think it's a good move. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Motion passes.
All right, action item number 7 involves a roofing project. The district underwent a hard bid process to identify the lowest cost responsive bidder for the job as specified in the documents produced by the architect. This involves replacing roofs on almost the entire elementary school, including the tile underlay on the Stan Smith gym. So a motion to approve the award of the elementary school roofing project to Edge Instruction on the amount of $1,255,542 to be funded by the building renewal grant is recommended.
You can ask them. That's fine. So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to award the roofing project. All in favor?
Aye.
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 It's funded by building renewal grant.
All right. So we have one discussion item on the agenda, and I just wanted to kind of bring this to the board and get any thoughts or feedback, but just make sure you know where I stand. It is getting harder every year to find candidates for teaching positions. And many rural districts are pursuing alternatives so capable of meeting student needs through online delivery. Some of those options include, Elevate K-12 offers classes for anywhere from 5th grade all the way up through 12th grade in all of the subjects. The ASU Prep Digital is another one that's being run by ASU. They're working to help us, help rural schools in this way. And there are other options. The Arizona School or Student Opportunity Coalition, ASOC, is also an organization that's kind of formed by a group of schools funded by Helios. They're trying to do a similar thing. What I find is that there's a balance to be found between cost and quality with these programs. And I just want the board to be aware, that I'm committed, and the principals and I, that the administration is committed to obtain the highest quality services that are available within the constraints of our budget. And I'm not necessarily saying that this is something that we are trying to pursue, but as decisions have to be made, as we're trying to fill positions, we want to find the best quality option. And if it becomes apparent online delivery option would be better than the options that are available given the available applicant pool, that would be something that we would consider, and at that time when we're considering it, there would be another discussion with the board, probably in a work session or a board meeting where we would look at the pros and cons on that. So, if you have any thoughts or feedback on this issue.
Yeah, I'd need to see some more data, and I'd like to see some schools that have had success and what they're doing and what subjects and passing rates and exactly how much of the day, stuff like that, Sean.
Absolutely. And that's always been my question with these programs when I've talked to people who are running them is, how are they guaranteeing quality? But the problem is, most of the time, these programs exist to fill in the gap where there isn't even a low quality alternative, where you can't even find a long-term sub to fill a position. And so that becomes the problem, is trying to identify where the quality is. So yes, and like I said, before we would move forward on that, we can change this. It definitely would be the best step would be to sit down in the work session and talk about why that seems like the best step to take, what it will look like. That way we can do that in a way that's that's both public as well as providing information to the board. Okay. All right. Any other comments? Discussion?
I'd like to see it beat the bushes. I know the bushes are getting beat pretty good, but beat the bushes pretty hard for some teachers out there. There might be some people on the line that might be pretty excellent at that. But yeah, I'd like to just see what you're trying to do to recruit teachers real hard, Sean. I'm not trying to be rude about it, but I'd just like to see what your plan is for getting the word out about teachers. I know it's common knowledge pretty much, but what are we actually doing? If you could maybe show us at the next board meeting or send us an update in 2 or 3 weeks or something like that, if that's all right with you.
Sure thing. Sure thing.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Anything else?
No, not for me.
All right.
And I got something if you can hear me.
Yeah, go ahead, JJ.
It seems like, I mean, with this online situation that we're already in, I think it was Cody's report that said, well, some of the students are doing very well and some of them aren't doing it at all. And if you're happening to go online, though, you're going to have that same situation, you know. So if you're going to have to do something like that, it's going to have to be some motivated students, or they're just not going to be part of it. In my opinion.
No, and that makes good sense. I think, and we've found that in the past. I mean, a couple of years ago when we couldn't find an English teacher, and we used an online curriculum with an on-site facilitator who wasn't a certified teacher, and we found exactly that some students did okay, and some students really struggled. And after a semester of it, we pulled back and went another direction. But I think one of the differences between what we'd be talking about in this type of a scenario and the current situation with the general education program is that you'd be bringing kids into school. So kids would come to class, and
right.
They're in the classroom. You would have a teacher either on a Chromebook screen or on a projected screen who would then be there to interact with the students as they go through class, much more similar to the traditional classroom experience. So, you know, like I said,
so they wouldn't be doing it from home.
Correct. No, they would not be doing it from home.
Because I've had parents say that their student is making straight A's now, and laughing about it because they're doing their kids' work. I mean, yeah. So that was my concern. How do you monitor that?
Yeah.
How do you
oversee it?
Yeah.
Correct. And
that's good if they're in classroom.
Yeah. No. And again, I mean, it's a way.
Man, I wish that was around when I was at school.
All right. It's a way to extend the reach of qualified, excellent teachers to places, you know, not necessarily in their same geographic area. It also enables teachers to reach out. And one of the things actually that ASU Prep Digital is working on is a professional development they can do for our teachers to help our teachers prepare online lessons that students can access either in the classroom individually, in a study hall, independent study type environment, or even where they could access the content as homework and then do practice activities in the classroom with the teacher. So we'll work with our teachers to make sure that they know that opportunity is available. Again, that's funded by another Helios grant. Helios has been doing a lot to try to make rural delivery methods available, or online delivery methods available to rural schools. So,
yeah, I think we're all willing to check it out.
Yeah. Obviously, not our best option. Well, hopefully, not our best option. Hopefully.
Right, a real person's the best option.
Correct. All right. Moving on. Item 11, executive session. We don't have any reason to enter into executive session at this time. Item 12, future board meetings. The next regular board meeting is scheduled to be held on May 14th. It's 6 o'clock p.m. That is the second Thursday of May. So items to be discussed will include the superintendent's contract. The board may meet in an appropriately noticed work session between now and then to receive information from the administration on matters affecting the district. An agenda will be posted. Public access will be provided.
Sean, before we hang up, I'd like to say something publicly, if I could.
Sure thing.
Just let me know when you want me to do that.
Well, we've gotten to item 13. Lucky 13 is always adjournment. So.
Okay.
Now would be the time.
I'd just like to publicly thank Ryan Conrad for his contributions to our school. I think he's done a tremendous job, and I know at times it wasn't easy, but I think he's helped build that culture, and I was real happy with how things went down over there, and just like to, I'd like to wish him well and enjoy 3A over there, but in all sincerity, we appreciate the job he's done.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I really appreciate all the hard work and hours.
Appreciate the job that all of our principals.
Really.
Because we were like out of town or something.
I guess I'll go, Dan.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Aye.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Adjourned.